Do you need an attitude adjustment, or do you need an adjustment attitude? Hi, I'm Julie Jones from SSB Performance Smarter, Stronger, Better Mindset Training, here with this week's Mindset Made Simple Tip of the Week, brought to you by Game Day Sportswear. Winners adjust. And it's true. Winners adjust their approach, they adjust their effort, they adjust their attitudes, they adjust the information that they're gathering, they adjust everything. Winners adjust. But just saying winners adjust is almost as effective as saying get your head out of your butt. It's like stating the obvious. Like I used to tell one of the kids at Cleveland State who sat by me a lot during games, her name was Brooke. I said, Brooke, if you state the obvious, you're never wrong. Great advice. Great advice. You should give that advice. But winners adjust, and winners need to adjust, and we all need to adjust, but it's hard. Adjusting is hard. Why? Because sometimes we don't see what's in front of us for what it is. We see what's in front of us as we think it should be, or we are so focused on what should or could have been that we aren't gathering information that's being presented. And as we go through the game, information is being presented. Our opponent is constantly giving us information. Our problem is that adjusting is hard because gathering information is hard, because being present is hard. And in order to gather information, we have to be present. I was talking with one of my Division I softball teams this past week, and one of the things that they would like to adjust, and one thing that they know can help improve their performance, all from their perspective, is that they need to continue to gather information and then implement adjustments as the game moves on. They feel like the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning, they should be moving, gaining momentum as opposed to losing momentum because they're able to learn things. The problem is it's really hard when we're under pressure to observe the landscape. It's hard to see what's in front of us as it is, because this is as we think it should or should have been, and we should never should on ourselves. We should never should on ourselves. We should never look at things and say, it should have been this. Because when we're thinking that, we're missing what is in front of us. So when we think about adjusting and winners need to adjust, it's always interesting to go back to the military and see what they think about adjustments. And in sport, we know that we work in what the military or the Army Military School would call VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous situations. That's what they work in, that's what we work in. Of course, our ramifications are not nearly what the military's are. They have life or death, we have win or lose, or miss opportunity. And same thing in business, we have maybe not make the sale, maybe make the sale, but this VUCA environment is there. And preparing ourselves to be able to perform in it and adjust within it gives us an incredible advantage. In fact, regardless of who has the physical and maybe even positional advantages, if we can gather and adapt to technical and tactical things and gather information and make adjustments, we gain the advantage. Let's think about that again. No matter who we're playing, no matter what we're facing, if we can continually adjust to technical and tactical things that are there and turn them into advantages, we gain the upper hand. So, looking back to the military strategist John Boyd created this 4-step process called the OODA loop. And you may have heard of this if you work in business, but the OODA loop consists of 4 steps. And the first step is observation. Sounds like the scientific method that we follow when we're thinking about our self-awareness. The second step is orientation. The third step is decision, and the last step is action. So we start, just like the scientific method does, with observing what is in front of us. Not what do we think should be in front of us, or what did we plan that was in front of us, because we all know that every plan works to get us started, but very few of them make it through fully. Think about it. You write your lineup at the beginning of the season, it looks very different often, at the end of the season for what all because we adjust. People get hurt, other people perform better. We make adjustments because winners adjust. But the question when we're thinking about observation is what's affecting us? What's affecting our opponents? What things could affect us in the future? What pieces of information, not full information. We understand that in a VUCA environment, we are not ever going to have full information. We have to make decisions based on the information that's in front of us and be able to sort that out based on its relevance and its significance. What are the critical success factors that we see in front of us? What have we learned that we can help the guy on the ground with? How can we help our teammates? How can we help ourselves when we're looking at things from a 30,000 foot perspective instead of being down in it? It's almost like you're in the jar. You can't see what's in the jar when you're in the jar. You can see what's in the jar when you're outside the jar, so we are observing. And then we orient, and Boyd says that we are constantly orienting. We're constantly reorienting. Easy for me to say. We are constantly adjusting our position and our perspective to move into a place where we can see, truly see what we need to see. Reorienting. That may mean we shoot from a different position. That may mean we look from a different position. That may mean we take our feelings out of it and we look and see what the facts are. We know in all the conversations that we've had over the past couple years is that facts equal confidence. Feelings are not facts. Facts are facts. We reorient so that we can see those. The next thing is we do is we figure out, okay, we've got all this information. What is our plan of attack? We make a decision that we are going to capitalize on this one thing, not a million things. We don't have time for that because we have to move quickly. This whole process happens like this, but we are going to attack in this way. And then we take action. How many times have you had information that you have not acted on? Information is only power when we act. Uncertainty is thwarted by action. Uncertainty is managed by action. When we are acting, we are taking control, we are moving forward, being positive. We're moving in a positive direction after we have observed, oriented, made a good decision, or made a decision, we'll decide if it's good in a minute, and then we act. But these 4 steps, we do them all the time. You think about it. In your daily life, it's easy to do these things. It's under pressure that it's hard because we are constantly assessing. We are in this process, we are not quantifying or qualifying. We are observing. We are taking in information. We are ingesting it into our system so that we can go out and make better choices. We can take action instead of just following along with what's going on. We're not worried about what we think should happen. We're worrying about what is happening, and then we're responding to that with information. Clear information that we have a systematic approach to. And we know that it is always better to give our mind something to think about than to just let thoughts come in and stay there. So this process can help us narrow our focus or expand our focus, either one, whatever we need. We are observing the landscape for what it is. That's a hard thing to do. Taking out our assessments is very, very difficult. Making decisions based on what really is happening is sometimes very difficult because we allow the pressure of the VUCA to come in and cloud us. So, observing, orienting, deciding, and acting is a great loop to follow. And then we have to realize that even when we see something, it may not be as it is, so we adjust from there. It's a constant attitude of adjusting. The winners adjust. They have an adjustment attitude. This little system that seems oh so simple, it's not rocket science, but when you're thinking about fighter jets or fighter pilots needing to adjust like that, if it works for them, I'm pretty certain it could work for us in the environments in which we work. But teaching our athletes or teaching those that we lead, teaching ourselves that we constantly need to be looking for ways to adjust with this process, observe, Huge. And I don't mean observe how you feel. Observe the landscape, OTL. Orient, constant reorienting, constantly on a swivel. We are scanning and sniping. We are not complaining and just regurgitating the information that we already knew or thought should happen, or what happened here or what happened here. We are scanning and sniping. We are deciding, and we're taking action. Positive action, because uncertainty is best managed by action. So, take your VUCA. Lots of acronyms today. Put the OODA loop into it. Sort of cool. Doodle-doodle loop. That's a song my dad used to sing when we were riding in the car. Look it up. It's a real song. But hopefully this little system can help you have an adjustment attitude, because adjusting throughout the game gives us a tactical, a technical, and an overall advantage that we give up when we're not present. That's the key. So this week, what can you OODA loop? Take that VUCA and turn it into something that we're expecting, and implement a system that helps us manage it the best. If you'd like to put systems in with your team, I'd love to work with you. Email me at juliej@ssbperformance.com. OODA loop, manage the moments, be present, and I'll see you next week.